we can get fairly rapid feedback as to because we now have such a good control over the human genome and epigenome, that is to say how the genome plays out.
Okay, the last audience question here would be that it comes with a quote from you in 2010 when you said, they sequence 93% of one genome. People have two genomes. They completely disregarded the issue of traits. It wasn't even for one person. The other 7% is so hard, we still haven't done it. So first of all, for me, it was a total surprise that when they say the whole genome has been sequenced, it seems that only 93% of it has been sequenced. Would you mind talking a little bit more about that? And what's the last 7%? Are we significant and why is it so hard to convince you to do that?
Right, well, so those were listed as like a piece of this, and this is beginning, I thought there was an analogy to the system quality and the increase with rates. So just knowing the T's and T's without knowing how to compare person to person, that should have been cooked in from the beginning. But anyway, we are where we are. The last 7%, some people just think of it as sour grapes argument that we can't do that important. In any industry, if we say like the automotive industry and the electronics industry, quality ends up being the dominant force of progress. If you go for quality, you go for completion. Like if you make silicon that's pure to 9, 10, or 11 nines, so 99.9999, it results in better electronics, higher yields, better cost, and so forth. And I think the same is for the genome. If we get so we can routinely produce complete genomes, 100%, with less than 1 error per genome, it will end up being a little cheaper and more medically useful.
Just so that I wrap my mind around this, why is that 7% so much harder than the other 93%?
Right, so it's a repetitive, meaning that we're reading through the like we're reading through a tunnel, reading a little piece of the other time. I mean, it's somewhat in the computer, and if a little piece we're looking at looks like another little piece somewhere else, then the computer gets confused. The virtual lobby, and so forth. So making sure that we're looking at also the inheritance from the mother and father are nearly identical, and so you get confused as to which one you're on. So the piece within a genome and between the mother and father's genome are confusing the computer, but we're getting better at it. I'm fairly confident within the next year or two we will finally have a real 100% genome.
That's fantastic. Now, Dr. Church, what's the best place for people to find out more about you and your work and stay up to date with that?
Well, certainly it's news articles. I think the book, our website has a news feed, and I think it's relatively easy. Just Google is relatively easy.
Okay. Now, the final question that I always ask of all the guests on my show is always the same, and that is, if you have a single message that the viewers and listeners of this show today can take away from this 1 hour interview with you today, what would you like that to be?
I think the main thing is to stay engaged. We should be just as expert at science and technology because that's what we're decision makers, and we're all decision makers and make decisions about these days much more so than ever before. So we should be just as expert about that as we are about everything else we read about in the news. And we should not assume that things will stay the way they are, or that inactivity is the right path. We need to consider the benefits of both inaction and various courses of action.
Dr. Church, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. The first connection was really between biological polymers, the things that make up our body, DNA, proteins. They're very much like a computer program or a computer set of data. Zeros and ones turn into A's, B's, and B's. And that's an obvious mapping that seems very profound. It just seems somebody's been programming all this for a long time, and it's not a really nice job of it. And want to look at it and appreciate it the way you appreciate any work of art or design. So, so I think it turns into a three-dimensional structure. So you have simple binary or simple digital these expressions as folded molecule. And that's what we're doing. Because a lot of people looking at the three-dimensional structure. And that was an interesting metamorphosis. The one of the parts of the car. And we did no shape of anything that we were made out of. So that's now changed radically, no shape of most of the parts. So from that point, it seemed reasonable that the kind of computing and automation that was used in the 70s